Well, back for another little video. The viewing quality is a little different. That's because I'm using my Saturn phone. Got tired of having to charge the little knockoff GoPro. Well, I figured out what the problem was with this sucker. Wasn't the starter like I thought. Apparently, it's the flywheel. The flywheel is broken. It's free wheels, or how you want to put it. Free spools, or whatever. Got the drive shaft loose. 7/6. If y'all need to know what bolts they were for the drive shaft, 7/16 and a 15 for the pill block. The 15 is for the pill block. So now I have to sit there and take the transmission linkage loose. And I'll just come right there and show you what I gotta do. Okay, people. Up in there, see that little bolt right there? Oh, here. I'd give y'all some more light, but I ain't got a flashlight, and I don't have. Apparently, I ain't got a flash on this camera for some reason. Right there. There we go. Right there is the bolt I gotta take loose for the transmission linkage. I've already got the lines loose because I had to mess with the timing chain and radiator and all that good stuff. But yeah, I gotta sit there and I've already got the starter out, and you've seen that in all the videos, but yeah, I've got to sit there and take the two big bolts off on the side, and then the 4 bolts off on. There's one on the very top, 2 on the sides. So 4 or 5 bolts max. And then I gotta take this loose. Yeah. This here cross member. It's ought to be fun. And the reason, I think I can just take the transmission back without having to worry about the flywheel being, taken loose in the torque converter, because it is broken, and I'm just hoping all I gotta do is just sit there and take this back, and yeah, get up underneath there and take the bolts loose and find another one. That's what I'm hoping, at least. If I get underneath here and find out that it's the cotton pin crankshaft, well, this won't be. This video will be put up online, but it'll just mean that I gotta make a deal where I take the motor out. 2 bolts, a little bit of wiring taken apart, fuel lines, and other stuff. I'm just hoping it's the flywheel, because I don't have another motor at the moment, and I know where I can get a flywheel pretty easily and fast. Just gotta figure out if a 2.2 flywheel and a 4.3 flywheel are the same. I'm hoping they are. But figure that out whenever I get everything figured out. So right now, take the linkage loose. I'm not gonna sit there and bore you all with the details and stuff like that. I'll just sit there and I'll give you all an update on what I'm doing. So yeah, fun time. Oh, and hopefully the new video editing software I downloaded will sit there and cut this all together, or it will be part videos. You know, that all together, just upload at different times. So yeah. So I gotta figure out what the... Now, figure it out. I'm past that. It's time to sit there and start taking stuff apart. Well, sorry about that. Well, I have some stuff to figure out. The throttle linkage, I'm going to have to figure out how to take it loose, so I gotta go on the old internet. Well, I guess I can just take it loose and move the transmission back with it on there. It wouldn't be that bad. It's got some slack. But I'm going to have someone underneath there helping me. Because I checked on some of them transmission bolts. I can get to them from all the way back at the end of the transmission. The only one I can't get to, from what I can see, is the top one. I had to take the motor mounts loose, jack it up a little bit, and have a jack or something else like that on the transmission and lower it slowly. And then, yeah, get to the rest of the bolts. But I have some other stuff I'm going to have to figure out how to do. If you think I've got all this stuff figured out, I've so far not even close. I'm flying on wire right now, trying to figure all this stuff out. I have nothing figured out on this thing. Oh, look, the only thing I got figured out is I think the flywheel's cracked and broken. If it's not the flywheel cracked and broken, that means that I have to, well, whenever I get it taken out, if it's not the flywheel cracked and broken, if it's the shaft itself, I can get a new motor and put it in it cheap, well, basically cheap as I can get a crankshaft. You know, the used motor and flywheel and all that other stuff. Cheaper than I can. Well, if I have to replace the crank, that would be the easiest way to go, just a new motor. Because looking at it, taking the motor out, flipping the motor over, taking the oil pan off, and taking the crank out, which means new rod, well, which means basically new bearings and a crank. Which they are $199, the whole kit. And you can go online. I know I've seen them online. The motors for a 2.2 for the same year that is for $250. Which is why I'm hopefully it's just a flywheel, because that's not too high. So yeah, one thing that's hanging me up right now is the electrical plugs. One of them is being stubborn. It doesn't want to come out. So I want to get off here and figure stuff out. Well, everyone, finally got another flywheel. And if you can't see what is wrong with the old one, it has a shotgun slug hole in it. As you can see, that used to go right in there. It busted up. The whole center busted out of it. This right here is the new one. I searched around for a couple weeks trying to find one. Couldn't find one. had to go to AutoZone. Well, AutoZone, a few other places had it, but AutoZone was the closest one I could find, so went and got it. I don't know why I done that. This thing over here is a flop out. Just check it. If you want to know why I'm doing that, this one right here. I got to read on the receipt and all that other stuff, and I hope it works. It's out of a, well, not out. It's supposed to go into a 94 Chevy S10 four-wheel drive. And this one right here, my old one, came out of a 03. No, did I say 93? I meant 94. Sorry about that. 94 Chevy four-wheel drive S10. And the one that came out of mine was a 03 Chevy S10 two-wheel drive. Hopefully there's not really a difference. I think the only difference is this one hole right here. These two holes right here. There's not really one like that on this one, as you can see. That's the only difference, that one right there. I'm hoping that it just goes up in there. Well, these are supposed to be the bolts for the, torque converter, and I'm hoping they just go on. If not, that means another trip to town, and it means I gotta go in there and find out why AutoZone gave me a 94. But hopefully it works, because I really want my little truck running. Well, everyone, now you can see her up in there. I've only got like 1 or 2 bolts left to put up in there, but I don't know where I dropped the other bolt down here somewhere. And yeah, it looks like it bolts up just fine. Yeah, there's the transmission right there. It's on the old jack. And if you wonder why this thing's upside down, I'm not set up at the moment, or laying on my back. And for all you that don't know, them there sensors are glued in. Yeah. But yeah, for reference, the belt housing bolts are an 18. The crossmember bolts are a 15. But you're gonna have to use a wrench and a ratchet. And cut your exhaust holders, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, there's the old torque converter. I almost said flywheel. Should be dumb of me. But yeah, she slid back enough to get up in there and get her out. But yeah, 3 bolts for the flywheel. I don't remember what size they were. Sorry. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I can finish this video up and show you this sucker running. Hopefully nothing comes up to where I have to record like I am right now. Yeah, it's going to be dark here in not too long, and it's cold. I do live in Missouri, after all. That parts of the country are a lot colder, I guess, but still. Yeah, I ain't been working on this thing because I couldn't find the old flywheel at any junkyard. Had to buy a brand new one. But yeah, apparently this little 2.2 S10 pickup truck is a rarity. Well, actually not a rarity. There's more clutches out there for these things than there is an automatic transmission. But, yeah. You would have figured that a 2.2 out of a little car with a, well, not 2.2, but the flywheel off a 2.2 little Chevy car would have worked. But nope. It had to be an S10 or an S15. SE15. Sorry about that. But yeah. Well, I want to go ahead and work on her tomorrow and then add all this stuff together.